What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of What Happens Here, Las Vegas' new and sports and entertainment program. I'm your host, Marcus Deegan. Thanks for joining us for episode 8. I can't believe it's 8 episodes already. It's gone so quickly. Well, today on the show, very special guest. As always, I only have high caliber guests on this show. I'm not messing around this time. So today, it's not actually an MMA fighter. It's not a boxer. It's not even an Irishman. Today, we are taking you down that highway to the danger zone. This guy became an internet sensation with his uncanny resemblance to one of the world's biggest blockbuster movie stars. Now, when I saw this guy, I was absolutely intrigued. We have something in common on one side of things, and this guy really takes his art form to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you would like to call him a body double, an impersonator, a tribute artist, a lookalike. I'd say he's probably one of the best there is. Would you please welcome to What Happens Here, Tom Cruise, body double, Mr. Evan Ferrante. What's up, my friend?
Hey, what's up? What's going on, Marcus? How are you? Thank you for unmuting me. I feel like I've now arrived.
Now, brother, you arrived a long time ago. Thanks very much for coming on the show. How's everything happening in quarantine?
It's been, an adjustment, a transition, of course, and I'm kind of, it's not really that much different from my real life, other than I am a social butterfly, so that's changed a little bit. Yeah. But I interact through Zoom and FaceTime and all that, and all the new ways that the new normal that we're enduring and living these days. Just sticking to some healthy habits, habitual practices like meditation every day, and trying to play some music, trying to finally learn Italian on Duolingo. I can't do it for you right now, but I'm like really trying to learn a language for the first time in my life. I was terrible at languages growing up, and so I'm giving a crack at it, and or taking a crack at it, and then I'm doing a lot of content creation every day. I'm forcing myself every single day to produce something, and it doesn't have to be great. I just want it to be something creative. Even if it's me copying someone else's dance moves on TikTok, which I've now finally gotten on as an impersonator, I'm doing that. I'm just doing it just to put out stuff and stay busy and active and not fade away into the abyss.
Well, that's the thing. With all this content that you're putting out, it's quite remarkable, man. Like, I see your stuff every day, and you're putting a lot of stuff out on all social media platforms. Where do you come up with all of these ideas that you have to do every single day? Where does that come from, Evan?
So I usually take my Tom Cruise persona, which I've been working on for a long time, and I have to say that I don't do any other impersonations. This is the only one that I've been blessed or cursed with, however way you want to look at it. I have his vocal cords, I have his mannerisms, I have his kind of way of being, and I've channeled him through the years almost on a daily basis, because it's just been it's turned into a career. It didn't start off that way. It started off as just a fun little, shits and giggles kind of thing. That's an expression we use here in the States.
Yeah.
But, I started off in college many years ago. But where do I get it? Where do I come up with ideas, or how do I come up with ideas? I would say, I do need some energy. I have to have some sort of wake up in the morning to foster these ideas and turn them into something. But what I do is I take my persona and I merge it with something relevant or current in the world, something in the zeitgeist. And I've found that when I do that, and if I do it correctly, like if there's a trifecta, like for instance, I think when you discovered me, it was when I merged Justin Bieber, Tom Cruise, and UFC. That's a triangle of success, of basically a triangle of power. Okay. Every point on that triangle, I said triangle. I don't know why I said that. Triangle. But every point on that triangle is one that has a huge following, right? And people are curious about that interaction of those points. And I'm not saying I discovered the secret to viral success, but it made sense to me why that went off, why that took off. And since then, and I've been doing, by the way, that my impersonation in the business of impersonating Cruise started way before that video that you discovered. That might have been the first time you'd seen me, but I've been doing this for 15 years now, mostly corporate gigs, like, pharmaceutical conferences, I don't know why it's always pharmaceutical conferences, but um, also, I do, tech conferences, of course, trying to rally the sales forces because there's no one more energetic and more charismatic than Cruise to embolden the sales force that is, basically just, I mean, they're really good at what they do, but they go to these conferences and it's 10-hour days of just, I'm sure you've been to many of them, of just grueling charts and figures and speakers that are pretty boring. And they need a hype man, and I'm the hype man. And it's funny that, and then at night they all turn to the bar and they just get wasted, every single one of them. I've never seen people drink so much at these conferences. So I'm kind of there to bring the morale back. I'm the morale booster. So I do that a lot, and I also did a lot of voiceovers for animation and TV and film and stuff, and as either his double, but I was mainly used or utilized for my voice because that's what I'm known for, the voiceover, the voice match. I'm not considered like a straight lookalike, even though I do some lookalike work, some meet and greets. It really is more of an acting, thing.
Now, have you actually met Tom Cruise? Has he seen your impersonation? Yeah. And if he has, was he cool with it?
So as far as so when I did meet him, I met him at the Chateau Marmont, which is a very famous, legendary, iconic hotel in Los Angeles. We met in a really haphazard sort of way. Like, we were just having dinner separately. He was sitting about 10 feet away from me, and I was having drinks with two of my friends and my girlfriend at the time. And we were, I was notified by another friend of the Chateau, because the Chateau, it's like a very, Hollywood's a small crowd. Everyone kind of knows one another to some degree if you're in that industry. I had an attorney friend, an entertainment attorney friend in the corner, who beckoned me over and said, "Hey, Cruise is in the building. He's here." And I said, "No way, get out of here," because I hadn't met him yet. It was my first time meeting him. And so I looked all over the building. I looked all over the garden of the Chateau, and I couldn't find him. I couldn't see him. And maybe he was hiding behind some taller guy or something, who knows. But yeah, so I was kind of bemoaning the fact that I wouldn't meet him that night, and maybe he just kind of was in and out. So hours later, hours later, I think it was, I'd gone to the bathroom. I even looked under the stalls to see if his feet were, swinging, and he wasn't there. I actually did this. I'm not kidding. I wasn't stalking him per se, but I went to the bathroom and I just happened to look around. So then I came back, and suddenly he emerges. I guess he was always there, but I didn't see him. He was about 10 feet away from me, like I started saying. And I called the waiter over and I said, "Hey, I'm a Tom Cruise impersonator. I thought it'd be a really great gesture, a nice gesture to, commemorate our meeting of one another and send over a bottle of champagne." Well, he couldn't care less. He couldn't give a shit, the waiter. And he said, "Look, I'll be fired and you'll be banned for life if you approach Tom Cruise. Like, that just doesn't happen. You can't do that." So I wasn't scared. I was just like, well, shit, that sucks. And I was just resigned to the fact that I wouldn't meet him that night. So my girlfriend, who's like a fearless Israeli Palestinian girl, she's Israeli, grew up in Palestine. And so she's afraid of nothing. And she said, "There's no way in hell you're leaving here tonight without meeting him." And I said, "Don't worry about it." I was already a little bit drunk and tipsy at the time. And I said, "I'm having a great time. I don't need to add pressure to the night. It's cool." She said, "No, it's gonna happen." So I was like, whatever. So I even like Facebooked that the exchange of what was going on this evening. I'd never done this before. I never used Facebook as a medium to like let people know what was happening in my life. And I did, and gave like a play-by-play description of what was happening. And people were like chiming in, so excited for me. Really, I felt like this incredible onslaught of support. But I didn't want to let anyone down either. I think I said, "Look, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen." So the end of the night, the garden clears out. It's 2 a.m. Tom and his friends say goodbye to each other. They're leaving. It's just me, and it's last call. It's me and my friend Jimmy, and Donna, this girl, and we're drunk. We are drunk at this point, and that was it. You know, it was a great night. Didn't happen, but it was a great night. And so Donna excuses herself to go to the bathroom, and I'm in the garden alone with Jimmy. And I had given Donna Jimmy's number in case mine went dead, which it did, my phone. And so Jimmy gets a call, hadn't saved her number, and he looks up at me. Sorry, this is a long story. He looks up at me and he says, "Hey, Tom Cruise is waiting for you in the lobby." And I said to him, and he messes around with me a lot. I said, "Shut the hell up. Come on. That's impossible." He said, he repeated it, did not smile, did not laugh. "Tom Cruise is waiting for you in the lobby." I get up out of my chair and I sprint to the lobby. And I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's probably like, it's not that close. So I definitely built up a sweat. I ran pretty fast. And it reminded me of one of his scenes in the movie, or in Vanilla Sky, or Jerry Maguire running through the airport or Times Square. And I get to the lobby, and he's there with Jeremy Renner, about to get on his motorcycle. Not together. They were separate, but they were standing together. And he's there talking to Donna, my girlfriend, and he does a slow turn, and we just meet and embrace and shake each other and say, "It's an honor and a privilege to meet you." And it's a very visceral experience. You know how you have 10 to 20 memories you could rattle off. This is one of those memories that is like very visceral, it's like a lucid dream, you know?
Yeah. You know, as an impersonator, I think that's probably one of the greatest goals that secretly, I mean, not secretly, but maybe not even professionally, but inside, that you want to meet the person that you're impersonating. And when you get, gratitude, and when they like you, it just really, really makes it.
He seemed to appreciate what I was doing. I've never really done anything slanderous. I've never done anything. I've done a few things, but not a lot of things delving into Scientology or his personal life. Or anything. I've made a few cracks, like SNL kind of cracks, but nothing offensive, I don't think. I mean, people are sensitive, of course, but I've always tried to do just, straight parody, homage to his career, homage to his life and existence. But you've partied with Connor, right? You've actually partied and hung. I haven't hung out, So
we that was a great night as well. And that kind of,
that must have been amazing. Unforgettable.
I mean, it was great because it actually exceeded any expectations that I ever had of hanging out with Connor. I really didn't expect to be in that after party for like 4 or 5 hours with those guys, but it ended up that way. And you know what I mean? He was so great to me and my girl, and so friendly, and so humble, and just real thankful for what I've been doing for the last 6 years. But anyway, this isn't about me. So now I see you're doing really well on this new Cameo that everybody's jumping on, and getting people to send out shout outs. How's that going for you, and where can people find you?
So Cameo, I believe it's simply not Tom Cruise official. Oh no, it's at Evan. Wait, hold on. I should know this.
No, we're going to put everything on. We're going to put everything on. We're going to put it right up here, guys, right above Evan's head. Right.
Oh yeah, it's the same as my Instagram, not Tom Cruise official. My Cameo and my Instagram.
So we're going to put the Instagram right there, and we're going to put the Cameo right there. Now, what's next for you, mate? What's in the future?
Oh, well, in the future, look, I'm kind of, I first want to say something about Cameo. It's been like the best thing that I could have ever done. I never imagined it would produce such kind of prolific returns and profits, but it's been also a real joy for me to connect with fans and people around the world that truly, genuinely appreciate what I'm doing and what I'm offering as my talent. I get so much satisfaction out of it.
That's so awesome. I'm
so grateful for it, really. I'm genuinely grateful. It's been very, very, it's been just, I don't know, a godsend, but it's been, I'm completely grateful for it in this time, because I've lost, and I'm sure you know, a lot of my live event gigs. I mean, all of them. I have some things in the works, but that are maybe going to happen in October, September, a little bit after the COVID fears, die down. But it's been kind of devastating on one front. I've lost a lot of work, film work, TV work as well. I had one of the biggest meetings of my life 2 weeks prior to this happening, before the shitstorm, and it all went away. I mean, maybe it'll come back, but I just don't know. So Cameo has saved me
Yeah.
in many ways. And then, so what's next for me though, like I was going to say, like I'm kind of coasting on those profits because it's easy money. It's easy money, but it's gratifying. But it's not something that I can be doing for the rest of my life and just that. Like obviously I need to be doing other things for job security, for, you know, passion, you know, those
Yeah.
things I'm passionate about. And I am passionate about doing the cameos, but it's not enough to fulfill me. So I've been writing a one-man show memoir about my life as an impersonator. I've kind of thrown around a couple different possible names for the show. The Great Pretender. There's another one, like there's a meme that had been going around. If you can always be yourself, but if you can be anyone, if you could be Batman, right?
Yeah.
So you've seen that one. So I was going to call it like, you know, always be yourself, but if you could be Tom Cruise, be Tom Cruise. And that's what I've kind of done. And my show is kind of a modeled after like a Fight Club kind of situation where I'm the Edward Norton character or Evan Ferrante character, and there's my Tyler Durden who's Tom Cruise, and I'm going, you know, I go back and forth on a daily basis between these two personas, and it's the show is kind of an identity crisis. It deals with depression and anxiety while being a creative. And it's very relatable, and it's not as I've really tried very hard not to make it self-indulgent, but I've written about 60 pages of it so far, and I'm trying to format it now, and it's something that I really want to leave as like a legacy of sorts. And legacy is such a big word, but it's something I want to kind of like end with, because I don't want to impersonate Cruise forever. I kind of just want to do like this, have a book out, maybe do some speaking engagements, but I really don't want to do this forever. But I've enjoyed it so much. I've been doing it a long time. I've loved my career. I just want to kind of leave with something a little more substantial. And I think a book or a one-man show would be a great way to kind of end things.
That sounds like a really, really good idea. I really enjoyed every single concept that you just told me about that. And I think that would be a hit. So if anyone's out there, any producers, any people on Broadway, any play involved in it, look, we're going to give everything. You're going to work. We're going to show you where to find Evan online and through his email.
Well, you know, you've been in Vegas for a long time, and I've done some events in Vegas, but I've never done like a long stint out there. I've never done like, you know, created a show. My manager, this guy Steve Stewart, has been wanting me for many, many years. He's been pushing me to create a show for Vegas, whether it's like what I was describing to you, you know, which is more of an introspective, more of an Evan Ferrante, Tom Cruise thing, or a straight Tom Cruise show where it's just Tom Cruise. There's some musical numbers. It's just everything Tom Cruise as Tom Cruise, fantastic as it can be. So I've been thinking about that, but it also requires so much energy, and I just don't know if I have it in me. I mean, it really takes a lot out of me. I got to say. Now
that was going to be one of my questions. I mean, because Tom Cruise is so energetic, jumping around the way he talks, the way he laughs, the way he moves, that ties you out doing that, right?
Well, when I embellish his eccentricities, yeah. When I do his manic Tom Cruise, you know, big laugh, couch jumping, fist pumping, all that. Of course, that's exhausting. But even just his lucidity, even his. I mean, you look, it may be Scientology, it might be something else, but his clear kind of nature, it's something that I don't always possess. I'm definitely pretty cloudy most of the time. I'm pretty, you know, I can be spacey. I can be distracted. Like it's a human, you know, attribute. But when I am in my lucid state, when I am in that moment, like in that perfect place where I'm in the moment, that's when extraordinary things happen as a performer. Mm-hmm. And I strive for those moments, but when, you know, Tom Cruise seems to always be in that place, which is miraculous. I wonder what it would be like, you know, I wonder if he's ever, you know, when the cameras aren't on or whatever, if he's ever just like down or not with it. Just, it seems like he isn't. It seems like he's always on.
Yeah, I'm sure, you know, I don't think he'd be human if he didn't have
exactly. But we never see it. Isn't that interesting? We've never really seen that with them. We've
No,
seen him go off the handle a little bit, on talk shows.
yeah.
We've seen him in the Matt Lauer interview.
Yeah, that was a classic interview where you saw that he has that little bit of bite in him where it's like, you're not going to argue with me, mate, because I've
Right.
studied this. So you've obviously you've had no plastic surgery. You said you're not.
No, I've never done that. No.
Okay. So to actually turn into Tom Cruise, apart from what you do with your personality and with your acting and with your talent, what physically do you have to do?
I have a wig and I have sunglasses, and that's really it. And I do shave a little bit because he doesn't really have a lot of scrub typically.
Yeah.
The only time he's had a beard has been like Last Samurai or Born on the 4th of July, and those aren't very popular.
Yeah.
So I usually do Jerry Maguire.
Last Samurai. I loved it.
Yeah, I love it so much. So I do like Jerry Maguire, Risky Business, Top Gun mainly. I'm sometimes asked to do Eyes Wide Shut sometimes. It's rare though. Magnolia, it's very rare. I like doing those, but it's very rare. But yeah, so usually I'm clean shaven. Well, especially for this thing I do using deep fake technology. I don't know if you were going to ask me about that, but that was
the next thing that I was just about to ask you, was about the deep fake, which kind of is very, because when I did the promo video of you coming on the show, I literally had my poor Irish mother from Australia called me and said, have you got Tom Cruise on the show? She was literally like, oh my Lord, he's the spinning image. She couldn't even understand that it was the deep fake. She thought Tom Cruise was coming on my show.
Well, look, it's a new technology. I mean, look, it's been around for a little while, but it's new for most people, and it's similar to any new technology that people haven't seen before. It's quite unnerving, and there, I mean, there's a lot of words to describe the feeling of seeing something like that for the first time. My friend Jamie, who's a successful actress on TV, and she does a lot of motion capture for video games. She's still freaked out by it.
Yeah.
She's also amazed by it. And look, if you get over that hump of being freaked out, you're like, wow, this is remarkable. And you're doing really interesting things. I do like sketch comedy work with it. Tom Cruise in different scenarios, like Tom Cruise in real life, Tom Cruise being the worst boyfriend. I do that with my girlfriend. But anything, the world is my oyster. Anything I want to create, I can create with deep fake. I just put the mask on, and it creates such an incredible illusion that I just have to focus on my impression and my acting. And I don't have to worry about anyone questioning whether I look like him or not,
Well, that's the thing. That you get that a lot. I mean, I know with us being impersonators, we get a lot of love, but we also get a lot of hate, and we also get
I've definitely gotten some hate. It's more love than hate, of course, but I have many people who chime in. They're called trolls though, and I try not to give it much credence, but they're just projecting their own insecurities, and they just want to be heard. They want people to rally around their comment. But a comment today that I would get would be, "You look nothing like him," or something. Right?
I hear that one a lot.
and honestly, like, I'm fine getting that, but I kind of have to educate people, because there really is a difference between a straight lookalike and an impersonator.
Yeah.
A lookalike who simply and merely looks like a personality, that's cool, that's great. I'm sure you have a lot of work, and that's your career, in that spectrum that you're on. But what I do is very different than that. And so I have to kind of educate them on this is more of an acting thing. I'm an impersonator. I'm an impressionist. And first of all, there's a guy named Ross Marquand, for instance, who's one of the best impersonators I've ever seen. Josh Robert Thompson. He does Morgan Freeman. He's a white guy. I mean, and Jamie Costa. Now, he does look like some of these guys, but he does Harrison Ford, Ewan McGregor. They're not lookalikes. They're just great actors. They're really great actors, and that's all they are. And they put on their voices, and they transform, and they channel them, and they have the certain mannerisms that are iconic, and they nail that. And that's what it takes,
Well, it's just so funny that some people actually think that we live our whole lives. You live your whole life as Tom, or I live my whole life as Connor. People don't understand that it's an acting thing. It's like what we do for a living. We get paid for these type of things. Although we do respect and love the character that we're portraying, once again, just as Evan said, it's an acting gig. We don't actually think we're that person, regardless of what my beard looks like. I don't think that I'm Connor. He doesn't think that he's Tom. It's acting, people. So I'm so glad that you brought that up.
Yeah, but it's also nice to have a few days off, though.
Bro,
I mean, the
what?
work is wonderful, but it's nice to have that rest to be just yourself and to kind of reflect and try to find a space for other things, other creative outlets.
Well,
Because
the only time I ever get to do that is when I shave my beard, because it completely changes
totally
when I leave the house every single day.
So that's what so conversely, I can't grow a beard because of Tom Cruise, and which really sucks because I love to grow a beard and I can't do it.
Actually, we had this conversation once before when you said, geez, I wish I could grow a beard, but I can't because I do Tom. And I'm like, wish I could shave mine off, but I can't because I do Connor.
I know. It's so funny. But like, I would love to grow a beard that long.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys, look, we've been talking about this. We've been explaining to you what this man does. Yeah. Evan, is there any way that you can maybe do a little bit of Tom just before we close off?
I can do it. Marcus, really a pleasure to be here. It's an honor and a privilege. Cocktails and dreams, man. Cocktails and dreams. But you don't know what it's like to be out here. For you, Marcus, it is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I can never fully tell you about. It's just help me, help you, Marcus. Help me, help you. Just help me, help you. You see this shirt I'm wearing? I don't need it anymore. You know why? Because I'm cloaked in failure. I 2 slices of bad pizza in the morning. I grow a conscience, Marcus. The fucking zoo's closed, Marcus. The fucking zoo's closed. You know, Marcus, I'm quietly judging. Red light, green light. Kitchers, you've never seen me very upset. It's much worse than you think.
Ladies and gentlemen. I mean, guys, come on. Like, you've never seen anything like that. You never will. If there's anyone out there that's that is a booking agent or is looking for some extreme talent, we're going to put all of Evan's social media handles, his email on this story. So we're going to let everyone know where to find him. Listen, guys, you can catch him on Cameo, YouTube, and Instagram, all of the social media platforms. Evan, once again, bro, I just want to
for having me.
I want to have,
and I always end my videos with Namaste. It's something I coin. Namaste, Namaste. Okay.
And you're just such a great talent, and I'm just so happy that you got to come on and explain a little bit about this because people want to know. They're interested in this type of thing. It's not a lot of things. You know, people don't know about this.
It's a surreal and unique existence. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, on What Happens Here, put your hands together for Mr. Evan Ferrante.
Thank you.
Hey guys, Marcus here. Today's episode was proudly sponsored by Team Guilty Clothing, Conquered Apparel, Rise Fight Gear, Molcata Clothing Wear. How could we forget Fit Guru Fight Retreats in Las Vegas? Of course, Wildcats for all your cannabis needs. And of course, Baller Balm for when your beard needs to be money. Today's episode was fueled by Proper 12, the finest, the tastiest liquid gold on the planet.